Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Yes, Judge.
Morning. All right, unless otherwise indicated, all the defendants are appointed in the offices of the public defender to represent them. All right, State v. Barbosa, Nathaniel Barbosa.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
And good morning. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Full name is Nathaniel Barbosa. Date of birth is 9/18/1989.
All right, thank you. Sir, you've been arrested pursuant to an alleged violation of probation or community control, so there is probable cause for your arrest. You're going to be held on no bond. Thank you. State v. Brinson, Albert Brinson. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Albert Benjamin Brinson, 5/12/99.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, in this case, you've been arrested on the charge of burglary of a dwelling. I do find there's probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $10,000. You'll have no contact with the alleged victims or witnesses in the case. You will not return to the scene. You will not possess any weapons or firearms. You will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or legal drugs without a valid prescription. In addition, sir, you're also out on bond in an Orange County case, 2019 CF 15086. So based on the court find probable cause for the alleged new law violation, your bond is revoked in your Orange County case. You'll be held on no bond in that case. Thank you. Yes. State v. Brown, Brandon Brown.
Yes, sir.
Please state your full name and date of birth.
Brandon Nikita Brown, 03/04/1994.
All right, thank you. Sir, you have two cases. First, you're arrested for driving while license suspended with a habitual second or subsequent offense. There is probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond in that case is set in the amount of $2,500. In addition, you were also arrested for an allegation of alleged on-view violation of probation of community control. There is probable cause for your arrest on that as well, and you'll be held on no bond in that case. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
State v. Camacho, Jose Camacho.
No. Go have a seat. He's not.
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Jose Camacho, January 8, 1990.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, you've been arrested on the charge of resisting arrest without violence. I do find there's probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. Thank you. State v. Diaz, Orlando Diaz.
Your Honor, he bonded.
All right, thank you. State v. Gutierrez, Jose Gutierrez. Sir, please state your full name and
Jose
date of birth.
Gutierrez. Jose Gutierrez, August 1st, 73.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, you've been arrested for an alleged violation of probation or community control, so there is probable cause for your arrest, and you'll be held on no bond. Thank you. State v. Hurt, William Hurt.
Your Honor, he also bonded.
Thank you. State v. Lizarde Baez, Gelvisi Lizarde Baez. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Jovis Lizardi, August 7th, 2001.
All right, thank you. You're being arrested on the charge of burglary of a dwelling. I do find there's probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $5,000. You'll be subject to PTR supervision. You'll have no contact with any of the alleged victims or witnesses in the case. You will not return to the alleged scene. You will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. You will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any legal drugs without a valid prescription. You'll submit to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Thank you. State v. Martinez Gallardo, Ramon Martinez Gallardo.
He requires the services of the Spanish interpreter, Your Honor.
Do we have Okay. We're going to have to pass on that because we don't have the Spanish interpreter here right now.
Okay, have a seat. Yes. Shh, no.
State v. Montanez, Victor Montanez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Victor Michael Montanez, 04/27/2000.
All right, thank you. You've been arrested on the charge of petty theft. I do find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $500. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses in the case. You will not return to the scene. In addition, you were out on ROR in case number 2019 MM 2693.
Whoa, Your Honor, we just had terrible feedback and we missed what you said.
Sure. You were out on bond, sir, in 2019 2019 MM 2693. Because the court's found probable cause for the alleged new law violation of the petty theft case, you're in violation of the conditions of ROR. Your bond's revoked in that case. You'll be held on no bond in that case. Thank you. State v. Moore, Keitra Moore. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Keitra Moore, 1979.
Thank you. In this case, your charge as follows: possession of cocaine, possession and use of drug paraphernalia. I do find there's probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. You'll be subject to PTR supervision on both charges. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000 on possession of cocaine, $500 on the drug paraphernalia charge. You will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any illegal drugs without a valid prescription. You'll submit to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Thank you.
Your Honor, she actually, from what I've been told, would qualify for direct PTR. Would you be entertaining that?
She has no criminal history, Judge.
Not at this time. That can be brought up to the division judge assigned to the case. Thank you.
Thank you.
State v. Pabon Canales, John Pabon Canales.
Spanish interpreter, Judge.
All right, we'll have to pass on those for a moment. State v. Padua, Enrique Padua. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Padua. Enrique Michael Padua, 11/15/1980.
All right, thank you. In this case, you're arrested on the charge of battery. I do find there's probable cause for your arrest on that charge. A bond is set in the amount of $2,500. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses in the case. You will not return to the scene. You will maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim, and you will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Thank you.
Your Honor, in front of me I have a notarized affidavit of declination of prosecution signed by the victim. Would you be entertaining a no hostile contact order, Your Honor?
Not at this time, but that's without prejudice to bring that up to the division judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. State v. Santiago, Edwin Santiago. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Edwin Angel Santiago, 08/23/1992.
All right, thank you. You've been arrested on the charge of criminal mischief. I do find this probable cause for your arrest on that charge. You're going to be on PTR supervision. You will not return to the alleged scene. You'll have no contact with any of the alleged victims or alleged witnesses in the case, and bond is set in the amount of $500. Thank you.
Your Honor, for Mr. Santiago, given the allegations in the report, would you entertain mental health PTR or PTR with mental health conditions?
I will not, but again, without prejudice, to bring that up to the division judge. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. He did not, no.
State v. Serrano Martinez, Delvin Serrano Martinez.
Your Honor, he has a private attorney.
Okay, so the Public Defender's Office is not appointed to represent Mr. Serrano Martinez.
Serrano?
Serrano Martinez.
Okay.
Please state your full name and date of birth.
David Serrano Martinez in 1980.
All right, so in this case, you're arrested on alleged violation of probation and community control pursuant to a warrant. So there is probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the warrant. You'll be held on no bond. Thank you. State v. Smith. Amando Smith.
Amanda?
Please state your full name and date of birth.
Amanda Smith, 102999.
Thank you. You're arrested on the charge of battery. I do find there's probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses in the case. You will not return to the scene. You'll maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim. You will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Thank you.
Judge, Officer Dunkirk with PTR. I actually spoke with the victim. They do not reside in the same residence. They share a child in common, and he wishes to have a no hostile contact with Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith also has no convictions or prior history.
All right. My ruling is going to stay the same, but again, you can bring that up to the division judge assigned to the case. Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Judge.
State v. Smith, Major Smith.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Major Desmond Smith, 12/20/96.
All right, thanks, sir. All right, you were arrested on the charge of burglary of a dwelling, sir. I do find there's probable cause for your arrest on that charge. You're going to be held on no bond in that case. In addition, you're on probation in case number 2014 CF 13262. So the court, based on the probable cause of the alleged new law violation, finds there's a basis for an on-view violation of probation, and you're going to be held on no bond in your BOP case. Thank you.
Your Honor, as to the bond being set in the burglary charge, what did you say it was?
It's being held on no bond at this time, without prejudice. to
Your
bring-
Honor,
Without prejudice to bring.
Your Honor, are you finding a proof evident presumption great in that charge? Because he is entitled to bond, Your Honor.
What I'm finding is, based on what's been presented to me, there's no conditions of release that can adequately protect the persons from physical harm, ensure the integrity of the judicial process, and ensure the presence of the defendant in the proceedings. That's the basis for my ruling, but again, without prejudice, to bring that to the division judge. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
State v. Thomas, Aliana Thomas. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Aliana Maya Thomas, 06/25/2001.
Thank you. You've been arrested on the charge of burglary of a dwelling. I do find there's probable cause for arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $5,000. You'll be subject to PTR supervision. You'll have no contact with any of the alleged victims or alleged witnesses in the case. You will not return to the alleged scene. You will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. You will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any legal drugs without a valid prescription. And you'll submit to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Thank you. State v. Toots. Pakia Toots. Please state your full name.
Kaya Tukes, 8193.
Thank you. All right, we have three cases. First, there's 2019 CF 10188. In that case, you're arrested pursuant to a warrant, so there's probable cause for your arrest in that case. Bond in that case is set in the amount of $2,500. You're also arrested on a warrant for 2018 CF 3724, so there's probable cause for your arrest in that case. You'll be held on no bond in that case. And then in 2019 CF 4568. Again, you're arrested pursuant to a warrant in that case, and you'll be held on no bond in that case. Thank you.
So how long does Orange County have to come and get me?
We'll talk afterwards.
You need to talk to your attorney, ma'am. State v. Baez Centino. Eliud Baez Centino.
Spanish interpreter, Judge?
Thank
All right,
you.
we'll pass on that for a moment.
Santa Fe.
No, see it.
State v. Rayleigh.
Oh.
Rebecca Rayleigh.
Have a seat. Have a seat, please, already passed.
Make up his mind.
Please state your full name and date of birth.
Rebecca Rayleigh, January 24th, 1991.
Thank you. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for an alleged violation of probation. There is probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the warrant. You're going to be held on no bond. Thank you. State v. Tuck, Gregory Tuck. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Gregory Tuck, 120396.
Thank you. You've been arrested on the charge of battery. I do find there's probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond in your case is set at $5,000. I have no contact with the alleged victim. You will not return to the alleged scene. I have no contact with any alleged witnesses in the case. You will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. In addition, you're on probation in case 2017 CF 4340. So based on the court's finding and probable cause for the alleged new law violation, you're going to be based for an on-view violation of probation. You'll be held on no bond in your probation case. Thank you. State v. Epis or Epis, Shante Epis or Epis. Epps, sorry, sir.
Shante Tavell Epps, July 3rd, 1978.
All right, thank you. Sir, you were arrested on the charge of battery. I do find there is probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond on that count is set at $2,500. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses in the case. You'll not return to the alleged scene. You will maintain separate residence from the alleged victim, and you'll not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Thank you.
All right.
Your Honor, if we, here, go have a seat. Go have a seat. Your Honor, if we could readdress Brandon Brown.
Brandon Brown.
Yes, Your Honor.
One moment.
Who's the third one from the beginning?
Thank you for this.
All right, State v. Brandon Brown. Sir,
Yes,
please
Your
state-
Honor.
Please state your full, hold on, sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Yes, sir. Brandon Nikita Brown, 03041994.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
quickly, if we could address the on-view violation of probation, with no other, with just this driving charge, he does have a newborn at home that he does need to care of. So would you entertain a bond at this time on the violation of probation, Your Honor?
I will not, but without prejudice, to bring that to the attention of the division. Thank you. Okay, give us one moment. We're going to check on the status of the Spanish interpreters.
Yes, Your Honor.
They usually sign in at 1911.
All right, can you all hear me down in Osceola?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we contacted the interpreter. All right, can everyone hear me in Osceola?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is the interpreter available?
Yes, Your Honor. Dalia Romero, State Certified Spanish Interpreter on the line.
Madam Interpreter, have you already been sworn?
Not today, Your Honor.
All right, you're going to be sworn in by the clerk.
Do you solemnly swear to translate from English to Spanish, from Spanish to English, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, I do. Dalia Romero, State Certified Spanish Interpreter. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go back to the cases that we passed on in Osceola that required the services of the Spanish interpreter. We'll start with Martinez Gallardo, Ramon Martinez Gallardo.
Ramón Martínez Gallardo.
Sir, please say your full name and date of birth.
Díganos su nombre completo y fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Ramón Martínez Gallardo, 1998, 911.
9/11/98, Ramón Martínez Gallardo.
All right, thank you. Sir, you've been arrested on the charge of battery. I do find there's probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is going to be set in the amount of $1,000. You'll be subject to PTR supervision. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim or any of the alleged witnesses in the case. You will not return to the alleged scene. You will maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim, and you will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Thank you.
Señor, usted ha sido detenido por agresión, violencia doméstica. Se le pone una fianza de $1,000. Con el programa de PTR no puede regresar al lugar de los hechos, no puede tener contacto con la alegada víctima, tiene que vivir aparte, separado de esta persona y no puede regresar al lugar de los hechos. No puede poseer ningún tipo de armas o municiones. Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State v. Pabon Canales, John Pabon Canales. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Su nombre completo, señor, y fecha de nacimiento.
John Carlos Pavón Canales, octubre 22 del 94.
John Carlos Pavón Canales, 10/22/94.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, you've been arrested pursuant to 3 warrants issued for 3 separate cases for alleged violations of probation. So there is probable cause for your arrest in all 3 of your cases pursuant to the warrants for the alleged violations of probation. You'll be held on no bond and on all 3 of your cases. Thank you.
Señor, usted ha sido detenido por 3 casos diferentes de incumplimiento de libertad vigilado probatoria. Son 3 casos por separados. El juez halla que hay causas que respaldan la causa, la acusación, de acuerdo a la orden de arresto. Queda detenido sin fianza en los 3 casos.
State v. Baez Centino, Eliud Baez Centino. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Señor, díganos su nombre
Eliud
completo y
Antonio
fecha de
Baez
nacimiento.
Centeno. Eliud
Fecha de
Antonio Baez Centeno, 10/28/82.
Your Honor, I
10/28/82.
believe that
Eliud Antonio Baez
originally
Centeno.
we originally believed that he needed an interpreter, but he does not.
Oh. All right, sir, you've been arrested on the charge of criminal mischiefs. I do find there's probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses in the case, and you will not return to the alleged scene. Thank you.
How much was the bond?
1,000.
All right, I believe we've addressed all the cases in Osceola. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, y'all have a great day. Thank you.
Judge, what time did you want to start tomorrow?
I mean, I'll get here as soon as I get done at the Juvenile Justice Center, so as soon as we can begin. Well, we always do Osceola first.
Okay, Judge.
But I can't, I don't know because I never know how many shelter hearings or detention hearings that I'll have, but I'll be here as soon as I finish that. I imagine it'll be around the same
All right.
time.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we're now going to address the cases that require the services of the Spanish interpreter here in Orange County.
The victim? Yes.
Good morning, Judge. Javier Chavez on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Good morning. State.
Memory McClemens on behalf of the state.
Thank you. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth. This is State v.
Señor, por favor.
Rodriguez Tirado.
Eliezer Martinez, May 23rd, 1972.
Sir, do you need
¿Su
the
nombre
services of
completo?
the
No, sir.
Spanish interpreter? Oh.
No, sir.
Okay, there is, the alleged victim, I believe, is in the holding area over here. I believe it's she that needs the services of the Spanish interpreter.
Oh, okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Señora, ¿puede escuchar al juez?
Sí, señora.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right, ma'am, please state your full name and date of birth.
Señora, díganos su nombre completo y fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Blanca Ninette Martínez, 1026 de 1989.
Blanca Ninette Martínez, 1026, 89.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Rodriguez, you were arrested on the following charges: count 1, burglary of a conveyance with an assault or a battery; count 2, grand theft, third degree of motor vehicle; and count 2, grand theft, third degree of motor vehicle; count 3, battery, domestic violence. So there is probable, the court finds there's probable cause for your arrest on all 3 of those charges.
That's not me, sir.
I'm sorry? You're
That's
not
not-
Rodriguez Tirado?
No, sir. Oof, that was a lot of charges.
Sir, what's your first name?
Eliezer Martinez. Oh,
What's your date of birth, sir?
May 23rd, 1972. The guy you want is outside. But that is my wife over there. We just got into an argument, sir.
All right, sir, we're going to pass on your case, because we're not prepared to address it. I only have 2 packets with me. And Madam Interpreter, could you please tell the alleged victim in this other case that she needs to go outside into the waiting area again? We'll call her back when we're ready.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Señora, por favor, vuelva, salga ahí a la sala de esperas. Siéntese y espere que el juez no tiene el caso de su esposo a la mano en este momento.
Ok, gracias.
Thank you.
All right, State v. Rodriguez Tirado.
Este es el caso de contra Rodríguez Tirado.
Sir,
Su
please
nombre
state your
completo y
full
fecha
name and
de
date of birth.
nombre completo y fecha de nacimiento.
Estanislao Rodríguez Tirado.
Fecha de nacimiento.
25 más 9 del 72.
Stanislao Rodríguez Tirado, 92572.
All right, sir, in this case, your charge as follows. Count 1, burglary of conveyance with assault or a battery. Count 2, grand theft, third degree of motor vehicle. And count 3, battery, domestic violence. The court does find there's probable cause for your arrest on all those charges. On count one, you're going to be held on no bond. On count two, your bond is set in the amount of $2,500. On count three, your bond is set in the amount of $1,000. You'll have no contact with any of the alleged victims or alleged witnesses in the case. You will not return to the alleged scene. You will maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim, and you will not possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you.
Señor, usted ha sido acusado de allanamiento, de una amenaza de agresión, hurto cuantioso de un vehículo, agresión. Las fianzas son las siguientes. En el primer caso, 0 de fianza, 2.500 en el segundo caso, $1,000 en el tercer caso. No puede tener contacto con la alegada víctima, tiene que mantenerse viviendo separado de la alegada víctima y no puede poseer ningún tipo de armas o municiones.
May I ask a
May I ask a question?
Mr. Chavez has been appointed to represent you, sir. If you have a question of him.
All right.
El señor Chávez le ha asignado para que le represente, le puede hacer preguntas
Si
a
yo
él.
no tengo para pagar, you speak Spanish? Si yo no tengo para pagar para pagar esa cantidad que él me asignó, ¿cómo yo podría hacer entonces para, porque yo nunca me cogí un caso, es mi primera vez, yo no sé.
Okay.
Porque no sé, porque en verdad estoy ajeno, no sé.
All right, is Mr. Jose Vasquez outside, or is that Mr. Vasquez? No. State B. Vasquez, Jose Vasquez. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Señor, díganos su nombre completo y fecha de nacimiento.
José A. Milcar Vázquez, 62052.
José A. Milcar Vázquez, 62052.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, you've been arrested on the charge of driving under the influence. I do find this probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. You'll be subject to PTR supervision. You will not drive any motor vehicle. You will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any legal drugs without a valid prescription, and you'll submit to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Thank you.
Señor, usted ha sido detenido por manejar bajo el estado de embriaguez. Se halla que hay causas que respaldan la acusación. La fianza en su caso es de $1,000, sujeto a participar en el programa de PTR. No puede manejar sin licencia, no puede manejar bajo el estado de embriaguez, no puede consumir alcohol o drogas o medicamentos sin recetas. Él no puede poseer ningún arma. Eso es todo. Gracias.
Una pregunta.
I have a question.
Ya.
Mr. Chavez is your attorney if you have a question for him.
El señor Chávez es su abogado. Cualquier pregunta, hágaselas a él.
Yo necesito unidad para trabajar. Tengo un permiso para... Otro caso. ¿Cómo puedo yo pagar la multa, la fianza? ¿Hay otro lugar donde tenemos que discutir esto? Yo tengo dinero para pagar. Ok. Gracias.
Thank you.
All right, State B. Martinez, Eliezer Martinez. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Eliezer Martinez, May 23rd, 1972.
And again, the alleged victim's in the holding area, Madam Interpreter. She needs the interpreter, services of the Spanish interpreter. Ma'am, once again, please state your full name and date of birth.
Señora, nuevamente díganos su nombre completo y fecha de nacimiento.
Blanca Ninette Martínez, octubre 26 de 1989.
Blanca Ninette Martinez, 102689.
All right, thank you. All right, sir, in this
Gracias.
case, you've been arrested on the following charge: battery, domestic violence. Court finds there is probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond's going to be set in the amount of $1,000. You'll be subject to PTR supervision. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim, or any of the alleged witnesses. You will not return to the alleged scene. You'll maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim, and you will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Thank you.
Señor, usted ha sido detenido por violencia doméstica, agresión. El juez ha hallado que hay causas que respaldan la acusación, la fianza de $1,000 bajo la supervisión del programa de PTR. No puede tener ningún contacto con la víctima o cualquier testigo. Tiene que mantenerse viviendo separado. No puede poseer ningún tipo de armas o municiones. Gracias.
I think the witness has a question, Judge, or maybe she wants to make a statement.
Ma'am, do you have a question?
Señora, ¿usted tiene alguna pregunta?
Sí, yo sí quiero que él tenga contacto con los niños.
I do want him to have contact with the children.
How many children do you have, ma'am?
¿Cuántos hijos tiene, señora?
2 biológicos con él
2 biological children with him
y una de mi anterior matrimonio.
and 1 from my previous marriage.
So 2 children are the defendant's children and your children together?
Así que 2 de los niños son juntos de usted con el acusado.
Sí, tenemos 2
Yes.
hijos.
Yes, we have to.
All right, well, my order does not prohibit contact with your children. My order. If there's another order, I can't address that, but if my order doesn't prohibit him from having contact with the children. Unless, are they witnesses in this case, ma'am?
Señora, mi orden aquí no prohíbe el que tenga contacto él con los niños, a menos que haya otra orden vigente. Los menores fueron testigos de lo ocurrido.
Estaban en el cuarto y nosotros discutimos en sala.
They were in the room. We were arguing in the living room.
Okay. Did you have any other questions, ma'am?
No sé.
¿Alguna otra pregunta? No, sir.
Can
Okay, thank you.
I say something, Your Honor?
Mr. Chavez is your attorney.
Can I ask a couple of questions, Judge, of the witness?
Pardon?
Can I ask the witness a couple of questions?
About what?
Just about contact.
Terms the terms of release that I've said?
Yes.
Relating that? Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Señora, le voy a hacer un par de preguntas.
Sí, señor.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to have contact with Mr. Martinez, meaning no hostile contact, but I'm not sure if you guys live in the same place?
Señora, ¿usted quiere tener contacto con el señor Martínez? Me refiero a contacto que no sea hostil. No estoy seguro si ustedes viven en el mismo lugar.
Sí, vivimos juntos.
Yes, we live together.
Would you like contact with him?
¿Usted quiere poder tener contacto con él?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not afraid of him, you're not scared of him, and if anything happens, you would call the police?
Así que usted no le tiene miedo a él, no le teme, y cualquier cosa que ocurriera, usted estuviera dispuesta a llamar a la policía.
Correcto.
Correct.
Okay, would it be a hardship if he had to live somewhere else on the family?
¿Sería una dificultad para la familia si él tuviera que vivir en otro lugar?
Sí.
Yes.
Judge, I'm asking that you reconsider your order and set no hostile contact in this situation.
What's the state's position?
We would defer to the court, Your Honor.
Ma'am? Madam Durgan?
Señora,
Sí, señor.
Do you
Yes, sir.
understand that I previously ordered no contact between you and the defendant?
usted entiende que yo previamente había dicho que no podía tener contacto, haber contacto entre usted y el acusado.
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
If I change that and allow non-hostile contact,
Si yo cambiara eso y permitiera el que ustedes puedan tener contacto pero no hostil,
Do you believe that you will be in danger from the defendant?
¿usted cree que usted estaría en peligro en las manos del acusado?
Yo estoy por mudarme pronto con mis hijos para evitar menos problemas. Yo me voy de la casa. Lo único que necesitaría es que él me ayudase económicamente porque no estoy bien financieramente y el resto no le tengo miedo porque él no es peligroso hasta ese punto.
I will be moving out of the house to avoid any problems. All I need is for him to help me financially because financially I'm not doing well, but I am not afraid of him to that point. No.
But you intend to move out?
Pero es su intención mudarse?
Sí, porque él vive con su mamá en casa.
Yes, because he lives with his mom at home.
And that's where you live, is with his mother?
¿Y ahí es donde usted vive también con la mamá de él?
Sí.
Yes.
Has Mr. Elizer ever done anything like this before?
¿El señor Eliezer alguna vez ha hecho algo como esto anteriormente?
Tocarme a mí físicamente no, pero mis propiedades sí.
Touch me personally? No. But my belongings? Yes.
All right. Based on what's been presented to the court and the alleged victim's request, I will modify my order to allow non-hostile contact between the alleged victim and the defendant in this case. All right, thank you.
Bien, basado en lo que se ha dicho, modifico mi decisión a que pueden tener contacto, pero no hostil. Gracias.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I believe that's all the cases for the
Gracias.
interpreter? Okay. All right, thank you, Madam Interpreter. That's all the interpreter cases we have.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Luis R. Gonzalez, 9170.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, you've been arrested for pursuant to a warrant for an alleged violation of probation, so there is probable cause for your arrest. You'll be held on no bond. Thank you.
Your Honor.
State v. Hyatt, Maria Hyatt. Sir, we need to,
Your Honor.
yeah.
Defendant is a HRSO. May I remove the detainer? He has reporting instructions.
Pardon?
He's a high-risk sex offender. He has reporting instructions. We put detainers on there. It needs to be told that he needs to report where he's going to be each time he's at the jail. He has to report it. When he leaves the jail, report it.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State v. Hyatt, Maria Hyatt. Ms. Hyatt? Please state your full name and date of birth. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Maria L. Hyatt, 32263.
All right, in this case, you're arrested on the following charges: count 1, possession of cocaine; count 2, possession of drug paraphernalia. The court does find probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. On count 1, bond set $2,500. Count 2, bond set at $1,000. You won't possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any legal drugs without a valid prescription. Thank you. State v. Roberson, Erica Roberson.
$1,100, why did it go up?
It's your paperwork.
I mean, do I have a public defender to speak for me?
Roberson,
Yes, that's me.
please state your full name and date of birth.
Erica Monique Robinson.
Oh, sorry, ma'am, it's misspelled here on the paper. Ma'am, in this case, your arrest, what's your date of birth, ma'am? Date of birth?
10/12/1980.
Thank you. All right, ma'am, in this case, you're arrested on the charge of trespass on property after warning. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. In addition, ma'am, you have several other cases. 2019 MM 5220, 2019 MM 7609, and 2018 MM 10911. You're out on ROR on all three of those cases because the court's found probable cause for your arrest on the alleged new law violation. Your ROR is revoked. In all your other three cases, you'll be held on no bond in all three of those cases. Thank you. State v. Lane, Gregory Lane.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Gregory Lane, 42259.
Thank you. On this case, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant on the following charges: count 1, aggravated battery, domestic; count 2, aggravated assault with a weapon; and count 3, battery, 1 prior battery. So there is probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the warrant. On count 1, bond is set at $5,000. Count 2, bond is set at $2,500. Count 3, bond is set at $2,500. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim and any alleged witnesses in the case. You'll not return to the scene. You won't possess or own any weapons or...
Sir, I don't know who the victim is.
Sir, I'm sorry. Pardon?
I don't even know who the victim is.
All right, sir, we need to address that to your attorney, okay? Thank you. State v. Nettles, John Nettles.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, I don't even know who the victim is.
Sir, I can't address your case, okay? The public defender's office is assigned to represent you. You can take that up with the public defender or the judge assigned to your case, sir, okay? Thank you. State v. Nettles, John Nettles, Mr. Nettles?
John Meadows, sir.
All right, please state your date of birth, sir.
October 8th, 1960.
All right, sir, in this case, you were arrested on the charge of battery, domestic violence. The court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $2,500. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses in the case. You will not return to the alleged scene, and you will not possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you, sir. State v. Brown, Dana Brown. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Dana Brown, March 18, 1996.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, you have a couple of cases. First, you're arrested on the charge of alcoholic beverage with an open container. The court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $250. And then also, sir, you're arrested on the charge of possession of methamphetamine. The court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge as well. Bond in that case is set in the amount of $2,500. You will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any illegal drugs without a valid prescription. Thank you. State v. Bueller, Carl Bueller.
Hold on just a moment, sir. He needs a phone.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
I'm good. I can hear him. Yeah, I can hear him.
Mr. Bueller?
Yes, sir.
All right, please state your full name and date of birth.
Carl Vincent Bueller, 11/19/67.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, you have two cases, sir. First, your first case, you're arrested on the charge of driving on license suspended with 2 prior convictions and also attaching a tag or license to an unassigned vehicle. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. Bond on count 1 is set at $2,500. Bond on count 2 is set in the amount of $500. In addition, sir, you're arrested pursuant to a capias issued for a failure to appear. So there's probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the capias. Bond in that case is set in the amount of $2,000. Thank you, sir. State v. Rochelle Volpo. Rochelle.
You don't play anything, just listen to the judge. She's got
Rachavel
charges.
Pula. I apologize, sir. I know I butchered that name.
Okay.
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Rishikesh Rajabapula, November 20th, 1993.
All right, sir, in this case, you were arrested on the following charges. Count 1, bomb threat. Count 2, false alarm of fire. And in count 3 and count 4, the same charges in count 2. And count 5, preventing or obstructing extinguishment of a fire. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on all of those charges. Bond on count 1 is set at $5,000. Bond on count 2, 3, and 4, each of those counts, bond is set at $2,500. Bond on count 5 is set at $1,000. Thank you, sir.
How much was the total?
$13,500, sir.
Okay, thank you.
State v. Rahman.
Yeah.
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Maksudur Roman.
Date of birth.
March 10, 1989.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, you're arrested on the charge of trespass on property after warning. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses in the case, and you will not return to the scene. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
State v. Builder, John Builder.
Your Honor, Vincent Citro here on behalf of Mr. Builder, who is standing next to me on my right.
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
John Lindsay Builder, III, June 19th, 1973.
All right, since the defendant has private counsel, the public defender's office is not appointed to represent the defendant in this case. Sir, you were arrested on the following charges. Count 1, battery by strangulation, domestic violence. Count 2, battery, domestic violence. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on those charges. On count 1, bond is set in the amount of $1,500. Count 2, bond is set in the amount of $500. You'll be subject to PTR supervision on both counts of no contact with the alleged victim in the case. You will not return to the alleged scene. You will not possess or own any weapons or firearms, and you will maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim in the case.
Your Honor, may I be heard on the conditions of bond?
Yes.
Mr. Builder is a resident of Central Florida. He was born here. He serves as the president of the North Florida region for a company that builds multifamily houses throughout the Southeast. He and the victim have been a long-time boyfriend-girlfriend. They've dated for more than 2 years, and they had been talking about getting married. She moved into Mr. Builder's house on November 15th. Mr. Builder left to go to the holiday party out of state. When he returned, the victim, who's had a recent rough time, her father passed away earlier this year, and she has an unhealthy relationship with her mother, began drinking and drank a fifth of tequila. Mr. Builder got home from his flight at about 9:30. He had an 8 a.m. business meeting, so he tried to go to sleep. She would not permit it. They ended up getting into a fight. I took some photographs and showed them to the state attorney this morning. I don't have the ability to print them here, but Mr. Builder has a bite mark on his arm. He has a bruise on his bicep, and his top back is covered with scratches and bruises. He actually left the house, went to his parents' residence in Winter Park to get a couple hours sleep. He came back at about 7 a.m. to start to get ready for his 8 a.m. meeting. The victim had continued to drink. He believes that she used some Vicodin that he has a prescription for due to a dental procedure. She tried to follow him out of the house as he left for his meeting, and he drove away. She apparently passed out in the lawn, which is a house in Baldwin Park, and police and law enforcement were called. When they arrived, and this is in the police report, she was incoherent. They had to transport her to the hospital. Mr. Builder comes back from his business meeting. She's not there. He begins to clean up his own house. The police show up. He cooperates, and they arrest him. He has no prior arrest, no criminal convictions whatsoever. So first, we would ask that the pretrial reporting be removed. Second, because he is the only person on the house, he is leasing the house because he was looking for a residence in the area, we would ask the no contact to be modified to no hostile contact. He had told the victim before he left for his meeting that she was to move out before the end of the weekend. Indeed, I do believe their plans for a long-term marriage are no longer viable. So if she's still there, he has to still serve her, ask her to leave. She's there as a guest. She has no lease agreement, no rent agreement. It is his property.
State.
Your Honor, the state wouldn't have any objection to those conditions.
And just to be clear, what are the requests again?
To remove the pretrial reporting and also change the no contact to no hostile contact.
You mean remove PTR supervision?
Yes, sir.
And the state's position on that is no objection?
No objection, Your Honor. No.
And change no contact to no hostile contact?
No
State
objection.
does not object. All right, I see someone out there in the waiting area. Is that the alleged victim in this case?
No, Your Honor, it is not.
Has the state had any contact with the alleged victim about
No, Your
initial
Honor.
appearances today?
We have not.
All right, so all the court's announcements regarding conditions of release will remain in full force and effect, except to be modified as follows. The court will delete the PTR supervision condition, that's no longer a condition of release. And the no contact with the alleged victim was modified to no hostile contact.
And obviously, Your Honor, not to return to the scene. The scene was his residence.
And will modify the no return to the scene to delete that requirement since that is the residence at issue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, it's the only matter I have before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let me make this clear. I am ordering that the maintaining separate residence will remain in full force and effect. However, Mr. Builder is not required to vacate his residence.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's what we understood the court to order.
All right, thank you. All right, State P. Jackson, Tommy Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Tommy Lee Jackson, Jr.,
Date of birth.
11/16/96.
All right, thank you. All right, sir, in this case, you were arrested on the following charges. Count 1, kidnapping and false imprisonment. Count 2, assault. And count 3, a battery. Court finds probable cause for your arrest on all of those charges.
But, sir, I didn't do anything.
But, sir, you have an attorney. You shouldn't address the merits of the case with me. Bond on count 1 is set in the amount of $5,000. Bond on count 2 is set in the amount of $1,000. Bond on count 3 is set in the amount of $2,500. Defendant will have no contact with the alleged victim. Defendant will have no
I have
contact with the
somewhere else
alleged
to go.
victim. The defendant will not return to the alleged scene. The defendant will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Sir, in addition, you were out on bond in case 2019 CF 10275. Because the court's found probable cause for the alleged new law violation, your bond is revoked. In 2019 CF 10275, you'll be held on no bond in that case.
So when do I go to
Ma'am,
court?
can you please state your full name and date of birth?
Takeda Hartnett, 4/8/1993.
I ain't even doing anything.
Sir, what's your relationship with the
Okay,
defendant?
he is my boyfriend. He's incompetent and he take medication for Depakote. The officers that arrested him only arrested him because his mother has a lawsuit out against him. And that's the only reason really why they arrested him. When I called them because he's incompetent and he take medication for his anger issues. I called them to calm him down. I didn't call them for them to arrest him. When they arrested him, they told us that they would take him to big bakery at them because of his mental health issues, but they arrested him instead.
All right. Ma'am, my ruling remains in full force and effect. However, that's without prejudice to the defendant filing whatever motion, seeking whatever relief the defense believes is appropriate with the division judge assigned to the case. All right, thank you.
So what are we gonna do with this case? So what's going on, sir?
I already announced the terms and conditions of release. You're going to have to talk to the state attorney or the public defender's office.
I just have to get a lawyer.
The case.
Okay.
Love you.
I got you. You can call me?
Put some minutes on the phone.
I already got it.
All right.
All right, Stacey Johnson, Terry Johnson. Sir, please say your full name and date of birth.
Terry Johnson, 5/12/71.
All right, sir, you have 3 cases here on the docket today. First one is you were charged as follows. Count 1, battery on law enforcement officer. Count 2, resisting officer with violence. Count 3, resisting officer without violence. Court finds probable cause for your arrest on all those charges. Bond is set in the amount of $2,500 on count 1 and count 2. On count 3, bond is set at $1,000. Do not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Next case, sir, you're arrested pursuant to a capias issued for failure to appear. And court, there is probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the capias on that case, and you'll be held on no bond in that case. And then you're also here, sir, arrested on the charge of possession of methamphetamine. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge in that case, and bond on that count is set in the amount of $2,500. You will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any legal drugs without valid restriction. Thank you. All right, I got a call while I was working on this stuff about some arrest warrants or search warrants that are in my queue. I'm gonna go do those as quickly as I can, then I'm gonna go to the remaining paperwork, and then we'll come back. So if you wanna take a brief recess, go get a bite to eat, that this would be a good time if you wanna do that.
Approximately how much time do you think it will be, sir?
I don't know, because I haven't looked at to see how many cases we have remaining for Orange County today. And I haven't looked at my queue to see what these warrants are about.
Okay.
But as soon as I can, I will be back. All right, thank you. Be in recess.
Okay, you want to read it? Just start filling first. First one. Harry. Jerry as a victim, Colette as a victim. And Sanchez Malave as a victim. But Taylor doesn't have one either as Wallace. Okay. Judge, we can call Taylor and Wallace.
State v. Taylor, Levinsky Taylor. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Levinsky Taylor, 2/18/1985.
All right, thank you, sir. So in this case, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant on the following charges: count 1, domestic battery by strangulation; count 2, battery domestic violence. So there is probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the warrant. Count 1, bond is set at $5,000. Count 2, bond is set at $2,500. You have no contact with the alleged victim. Any alleged witnesses in the case will not return to the scene. You maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim, and you won't possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you. State v. Wallace, David Wallace.
This way, this way. Can we just bypass him? He's in the restroom.
Okay. State v. Fulmore, Emma Fulmore. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Emma Fulmore, 11/22/1996.
In this case, your charge as follows: count 1, battery, domestic violence. The court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim. You'll not return to the alleged scene. You'll maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim. You won't possess or own any weapons or firearms. Thank you.
I'll just hear
State
for
v.
initial.
O'Shea, Elise O'Shea.
Can I say something to the judge?
You have to talk to him.
Okay, I'm just here for initial appearance. He's just setting a bond, and then you're gonna meet somebody in a couple of days. So you have an attorney in a couple of days, okay?
He's in my apartment.
Ma'am, we gotta go to the next case. Thank you. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Elise Brianne O'Shea, January 28th, 1994.
I mean, in this case, your charge as follows: count 1, battery, domestic violence. The court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $500. You'll be subject to PTR supervision. You won't have no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the alleged scene. You'll maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim, and you won't possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you. State v. Scott, Bradley Scott. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Bradley Sterling Scott II, June 16, 1984.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, you do not qualify for the appointment of the Public Defender's Office, so the Public Defender is not appointed to represent you in this case. In this case, your charge as follows: count 1, battery, domestic violence. The court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim. You will not return to the alleged scene. You'll maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim, and you won't possess or own any weapons or firearms. Thank you. State v. Suprian, Maureen Suprian. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Laureen Supreme, March 2nd, 1998.
Thank you, ma'am. this case, your charge is as follows. Count one, battery, domestic violence. Court does find probable cause for the arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $500. You'll be subject to PTR supervision. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim. You will not return to the alleged scene, and you will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Thank you. State v. Anthony, Maxwell Anthony. State v. Wallace, David Wallace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
David Lamont Wallace, 1974.
All right, thank you, sir. We have several cases for you, sir. First of all, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant on the charge of aggravated stalking after an injunction, so there's probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the warrant issued in that case. In that case, bond set at $5,000. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim. You will not return to the alleged scene. You'll maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim. You will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. In addition, sir, you have another charge, resisting officer without violence. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond on that charge is set in the amount of $2,000. And then you also have a alleged violation of probation. Court finds probable cause for your arrest on that charge as well. You'll be held on no bond in your BOP case. Thank you. Sherry.
Yes, Chair.
State v. Cherry, Susie Cherry. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Susie Sherry, November 9, 86.
Thank you. Ma'am, could you please state your full name and date of birth?
Whitney Carr, 02/18/1994.
All right, what's your relationship with the defendant?
Ex-girlfriend.
All right, man, in this case, your charge is as follows. Count one, aggravated assault, dating violence. Count two, battery, dating violence. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. Count one, bond is set in the amount of $2,500. Count two, bond is set at $1,000. You'll be subject to PTR supervision on both counts. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim in the case. You will not return to the alleged scene. You'll maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim. You will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Thank you. State v. Jarrett, Leslie Jarrett. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Leslie Madeline Garrett,
Date of birth.
9/21/82.
All right, thank you. In this case, your charge as follows. Count one, aggravated battery with a weapon, domestic violence, and count two, child abuse. The court does find probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. Count one, bond is set in the amount of $5,000. Count two, bond is set at $2,500. You will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim or any witnesses in the case, and you will not return to the alleged scene. Thank you. Oh. Could you please state your full name and date of birth?
David Villasenor, 10/30/73.
All right, and what's your relationship with the defendant?
Ex-girlfriend.
Okay. Thank you. All right, State v. Sanchez Malave. Carlos Sanchez Malave. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Carlos Sanchez,
Date of birth.
3/17/71.
Thank you. So in this case, your charge as follows. Count one, battery by strangulation, domestic violence, and count two, battery, domestic violence. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. Count one, bond is set at $3,500. Count two, bond is set at $2,000. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim. You will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim. In addition, sir, you're out on bond in case 2019 MM 8654, because the court found probable cause for the alleged new law violation. Your bond is revoked. In your MM case, you'll be held on no bond in that case. Thank you. Oh, ma'am, please state your full name and date of birth.
Joan Jackson, 2/21/77.
All right, thank you, ma'am. What's your relationship with the defendant?
Ex-boyfriend.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. State v. Anthony, Maxwell Anthony.
Maxwell Anthony.
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Maxwell Anthony, December 20th, 1990.
All right, thank you, sir. So in this case, you were arrested pursuant to a capias issued for a failure to appear, so there is probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the capias. You'll be held on no bond. Thank you. State v. Arroyo, Ivan Arroyo. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
1977.
Pardon?
Huh?
Full name and date of birth?
Francisco Arroyo, 1977.
All right, thank you, sir.
Ivan Arroyo, 1977.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant on account of sexual offender failure to report or re-register. There is probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the warrant. Bond in your case can be set in the amount of $5,000.
But what I was,
Pardon?
what I was told, I was like every year.
All right, sir, I can't address your case other than what I just did, the conditions of release. Thank you, sir.
So what about?
State v. Cook, Cassie Cook or Casey Cook.
Casey Cook.
Please state your full name and date of birth.
Casey Cook, date of birth is June 8th, 1987.
Thank you. In this case, may be charged as follows. Count 1, petty theft retail. Count 2, possession of heroin. Count 3, possession of methamphetamine. The court does find probable cause for your arrest on all those charges. Count 1, bond is set at $1,000. Count 2, $2,500. Count 3, $2,500. You'll be subject to PTR supervision on all counts. You will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any legal drugs without a valid prescription. You'll submit to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Thank you. State v. Curry, Javari or Javari Curry. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Javari Curry, February the 18th, 1988.
Thank you, sir. In this case, you're charged with DUI with 2 prior convictions. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $2,500. You'll be subject to PTR supervision. You will not drive any motor vehicle. You will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any legal drugs without a valid prescription. You'll submit to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Thank you. State v. Dozier.
Dozier's behavior, Your Honor.
All right. Reset that for tomorrow. State v. Gillard, Donald Gillard.
He refused to attend.
I'll reset that for tomorrow. State v. Hack, Wayhill Hack.
Yes.
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Whitehill Solid Hack, 12284.
All right, thank you, sir. In this case, your charge as follows. Count 1, battery on a law enforcement officer. Count 2, assault on a law enforcement officer. And count 3, resisting officer with violence. Court finds probable cause for your arrest on all those charges. Bond on count 1 is set at $3,500. Bond on count 2, $2,000. Bond on count 3, $3,500. You will not possess or own any weapons or firearms. Thank you,
No.
sir. State v. Hall, James Hall. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
James Edward Hall, March 8, 1960.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, you have a couple cases. First, you were arrested pursuant to a capias for failure to appear, so there's probable cause for your arrest. Pursuant to the capias, you will be held on no bond. In addition, you have another case, sir, 2019 CF 12257. You were released ROR in that case based on court finding the probable cause for arrest pursuant to the capias. You'll be held on no bond in 2019 CF 1225, and your ROR is revoked in that case. Thank you.
It's another case behind the Allen bond. Yes.
Oh,
Mr. Hall?
sorry, sir, I missed one of your other cases. You also are charged as follows. Count 1, possession of methamphetamine. Count 2, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. And count 3, possession of drug paraphernalia. Court finds probable cause for your arrest on those charges as well. Count 1, bond set in the amount of $2,500. Count 2, bond is set in the amount of $10,000. Count 3, bond is set in the amount of $1,000. Thank you. State v. Jarrett, Anthony Jarrett. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Anthony Jarrett, January 30, 1978.
Thank you, sir. In this case, your charge is as follows. Count 1, possession of a firearm and commission of a felony. Count 2, carrying a concealed firearm. And count 3, possession of greater than 20 grams of cannabis. Court finds probable cause for your arrest on all those charges. Bond on count 1 is set at $5,000. Bond on count 2, $2,500. And bond on count 3, $2,500. Thank you. State v. Johnson, Johnny Johnson. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Johnny Leon Johnson Jr., 7667.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, sir, in this case, your charge as follows. Count 1, driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. The court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond in that count is set at $2,500. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor. Your Honor, he's out on bond from 2 cases.
He's out on bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
In which case?
Should be 2. It's 2.
It's 2 cases. There's a driving while license suspended, and also a no valid driver's license. There's a court case number for the no valid driver's license.
I don't have a bond issue, though. It just says it's an open case.
Found in the state attorney's, yes, Your Honor.
So, has he been released on bond in that case, or just an open case?
No, that was an open case. I ain't got no bond.
It says just open case, Your Honor, on that. It doesn't
Okay.
say.
Yeah, I have 2 cases, they just say open, I don't have any bond information.
And I'm supposed to be going to court on Monday to resolve that problem right there.
Sir?
Have to be through the state, Your Honor. Does the state have any information? We found it in the state attorney's screen.
All right, I'm gonna take no action on this case. The state attorney wants to bring that to the division judge's attention. The state attorney can do that. All right, thanks, sir. State v. Phillip, LaRon Phillip.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Lauren Cody Dion Phillip, April 8, 1996.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, sir, a couple of matters here. First, your charge as follows. Count 1, carrying a concealed firearm. Count 2, tampering with physical evidence. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. On each of those counts, bond is set in the amount of $2,500. In addition, sir, you were out on bond in another case. That's 2019 CF 16184. Because the court has found probable cause for the alleged new law violation, bond is revoked in 2019 CF 16184. You'll be held on no bond in that case. Thank you. State v. Presley, Rhonda Presley. Sir?
She refused to attend, sir.
Okay, I'll reset that. State v. Skinner, Tremaine Skinner. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Tremaine Melton Skinner, 7/21/82.
Thank you, sir. In this case, sir, your charge as follows. Count 1, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. Count 2, possession of less than 20 grams of cannabis marijuana. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. Count 1, bond is set at $2,500. Count 2, bond is set at $1,000. You will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any illegal drugs without a valid prescription. Thank you. State v. Smith, Christopher Smith.
He refused to attend.
Set that. Thank you. State v. Vasquez, Jose Vasquez. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Jose Vasquez III, 04/22/1991.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, you're arrested pursuant to a capias for an alleged failure to appear, so there's probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the capias. You're going to be held on no bond. Thank you. State v. Odom, Crystal Odom.
Yes, sir.
Sir, or ma'am, please state your full name and date of birth.
Crystal Alexis Odom, 2186.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, this will be a couple of matters for you, ma'am. First of all, you were arrested on the charge of trespassing in an occupied structure. The court does find probable cause. That was pursuant to a warrant, so there's probable cause for your arrest on that case. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. In addition, you were on bond, released ROR in 2019 CF 15061 because the court's found probable cause.
Sorry, sir, I can't hear you. Thank you.
Because the court has found probable cause for your arrest on the alleged new law violation, your ROR is revoked. In 2019 CF 15061, you'll be held on no bond in that case. Thank you.
There's no way that he can look higher or,
State B. Chabanier Alejandro, Ricard Chabanier Alejandro. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Ricard Charbonnier Alejandro is January 17, 1972.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, you do not qualify for the appointment of the Public Defender's Office, so the Public Defender is not appointed to represent you in this case. Sir, in this case, you're charged as follows: driving while license suspended, second offense. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $500. You'll be subject to PTR supervision. Thank you, sir. State B. Masood Razak.
Yes.
Abdul Masood Razak. Sir, please state your full name and date
Abdul
of
Asif
birth.
Masood Razak, September 21st, 1976.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, you're charged as follows: count 1, driving while under the influence; count 2, resisting officer without violence. Court finds probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. On each of those counts, bond is set in the amount of $500. You'll be subject to PTR supervision on both counts, and you will not possess or use any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or any legal drugs without a valid prescription. You'll submit to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense.
I
Thank you,
do
sir.
have prescription.
Yes. Pardon?
He does have prescriptions, Judge, but I think you said that as long as he has prescriptions, he's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, as long as you have a
You can
prescription.
use illegal drugs, sir, if you have a
No,
valid
not
prescription.
illegal drugs. These are
Yeah. You said
prescriptions.
as long as the doctor tells you can use them, that's okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I do have the prescriptions for.
All right, thank you, sir. State B. Nash, Thomas Nash.
He bonded, Your Honor.
He bonded, okay. State B. Williams, Harvey Williams. Yes, sir. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Harvey Williams, 6/14/85.
Thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, your charge as follows: knowingly driving while license suspended, revoked. I do find probable cause for your arrest on that charge. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. Thank you, sir. State B. Holmes, Kenneth Holmes. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
This Judge, this is not my name.
Your name is not.
My name is Mundell St. Keeler Gray.
What's your date of birth, sir?
The 4th to 17, 1978.
What's your date of birth?
The 4th to 17, 1978. Now, when the officers and them got me, I told them my name because they got some ID out of my pocket, and I don't know, I might have got the wrong ID when I was at this building. We had to show ID, so I think a dude got my ID, and I got his ID, and I told them that, and they still wrote my name down on here. So I told them when I got here, right? And I asked him what to do about it. He said, well, you just gonna have to use this.
All right. Do you have identity? You don't have any identification?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, what's out of my property?
Okay.
Your Honor, when he was booked in, when we did his fingerprints, what he's saying about the name of Gray is correct. All the other times he's ever been in here, this is the first time we have Holmes Kenneth for him, so his fingerprints match with his Mondell Santiago Gray.
So last name is Gray.
Yes, sir.
And first name is what?
Mondell, Mondell. It looks like he's been with him probably about more than 20 times on that name, and then this is the first time for this name.
What's the date of birth for Greg?
4th to 17th, 1978.
No, I'm asking.
4/17/1978, Your Honor. On all the other files.
All right, sir, what we're gonna do, we're gonna reset your case for tomorrow, direct the state to have revised and corrected affidavit submitted by the law enforcement officer on the case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, State v. Trustee, Sean Trustee.
We state his bond is in order, and we said it for tomorrow's not bonded.
Yeah, just keep everything stayed. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Sean Collins, trustee, 06/11/1997.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, your charge as follows. Count 1, loitering or prowling. Count 2, trespassing in a structure or conveyance. Court does find probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. Bond on each of those counts is set in the amount of $250. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim or witnesses in the case, and you'll not return to the scene. Thank you.
Question, sir.
State v. Kelly, Joshua Kelly.
I got a question. Excuse me, sir. I got a question. Am I eligible for a PR bond?
Sir, I've already set the conditions of release. We gotta move to the next case. Thank you. State v. Kelly, Joshua Kelly.
Yes, sir.
All right, please state your full name and date of birth.
Joshua Dane Kelly, August 5th, 1985.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, you're arrested pursuant to an out-of-county warrant, so there's probable cause for your arrest pursuant to that warrant. You're gonna be held on no bond. Thank you. State v. Mosquera, Brian Mosquera. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Brian Mosqueda, April 1st, 1995.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in this case, your charge as follows. Count 1, battery. Count 2, false imprisonment. Court finds probable cause for your arrest on both of those charges. Bond on count 1 is set at $1,000. Bond on count 2, $2,500. You'll have no contact with the alleged victim. You will maintain separate residences from the alleged victim, and you will not possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
It's Audi County? That's Audi County arrest? It is. Over the line? Yes, sir.
State v. Crumpler, Harold Crumpler. Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Calvin Crumpler, Jr., 1993, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, in your case, you do not qualify for the appointment of the Public Defender's Office. The Public Defender's Office is not appointed to represent you in this case. You're arrested for an alleged violation of probation, so there's probable cause for your arrest pursuant to that warrant. You'll be held on no bond. Thank you. State v. Dowdy, Leonie Dowdy. Please state your full name and date of birth.
Leonie Dowdy, September 7, 1990.
All right, thank you. In this case, you're arrested pursuant to a warrant for an alleged violation of probation, so there's probable cause for your arrest pursuant to the warrant. You're going to be held on no bond. Thank you. State v. Jackson, Darian Jackson.
He's in the hospital, Your Honor.
Hospital?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll reset that for tomorrow. State v. Johnson, Dondi Johnson.
Yes.
Please state your full name and date of birth.
Donnie Danita Johnson, 1/17/86.
All right, thank you. In this case, you're arrested pursuant to a warrant for an alleged violation of probation, so there is probable cause for your arrest. You're going to be held on no bond. Thank you. All right, I believe we've addressed all the cases.
For the over the, I'm not familiar with this, but for the over the county, the out of county over the line arrest, do we set bond on that for him to be able to bond up from here and appoint the public defender on it? We wouldn't do that here.
And appoint the public defender on that one. He said at the beginning that he'll appoint them at discretion. That one I didn't appoint the PD on it because he didn't fill out a PD form and it was over the line arrest.
So, but he doesn't go back to Seminole County since it's a domestic violence and everything. We didn't see him with the domestic violence. We would set bond for out of county. I don't know, I've never.
If it's the over the line arrest, it's up to the state.
Oh, is that something that we do stay in public defender?
No.
I'd never seen it, so I just want to make sure we're right because they might come to get him and his mom's already been set here.